What's up, guys? It's John, National Sports Entertainment, and I want to go into the NBA games for tomorrow now because I have the Thanksgiving games coming up as well, which is a Thursday, obviously, and with the holidays, I'm been doing some decorating, just getting the house in order, things like that. Relatives coming, so I've been a little busier. So tomorrow I'll be a little busier too, but I'll be able to get the Thanksgiving games out tomorrow at some point. So I figured I would do the NBA tonight. Now, just like tonight, I like a lot of these games. I like the in-season tournament a little more right now, just because I feel like there's more narratives, and some of the games it makes more sense for a particular team to look better. But I'm also still liking the Pacers. Their defense is looking pathetic, but they're kind of they're them and the I was looking at them and the Kings as far as the in-season tournament because I think it's going to be a mid-card team, so we'll have to see how that fares. But still not hating the Pacers. You can see the Heat in there too. So a lot of these teams starting off with a good record early on. I'm wondering if it's going to be because the in-season tournament is running a while, but I'm wondering if after the in-season tournament ends, I think it ends in December, if some of these teams are going to really fall off. But anyway, we have every game but three with spreads. I'm not going to go into these three just yet. Two of the three I get that they're two of the more entertaining games, but I have no idea what the spreads are going to be. If I'm making assumptions from healthy lineups, I think they had Steph out, so let's see if he's still out. And again, this is just an assumption off of if the ESPN schmucks aren't lying to us with just Beal being out. I would imagine it would be something like Phoenix minus 1.5, basically a pick 'em. So if that's what we get, I do like Phoenix because they're pushing the Warriors' losing streak. But like I said, it's all hypothetical. And Mavs Lakers, you never know if AD's playing and all that stuff. I'd imagine with this spread, Mavericks would be like a 3-point favorite or something like that. But anyway, hypotheticals. Like I said, if the Suns is a pick 'em and it's just Beal out, I think they're going to continue the Warriors' losing streak. Like either way, I think they will. So unless we need the Suns to cover some crazy spread, I'm probably going to like them. As far as the other two games, I'll put them in my Discord, and I'll probably include them in my Thanksgiving picks. I like to see an actual spread first, because that's the most important thing, seeing which games are suspicious. Speaking of suspicious, before I go into our games, very interesting. So we had a decent night. As far as the games, we went 3 out of 5, which is good, obviously. It would have been 4 out of 5, and we 3 out of 6 total, because we did have the under with the Pacers game. I went into how I wanted to play it for more units, but I was treading lightly because that 250 seemed very suspicious. But the Pacers just going over continually is going to come to an end. We would have got the Suns. A lot of you might have got the Suns. It's funny because KD came out. He was crying about people not cash apping him. He was being sarcastic, but basically people giving him shit when they don't cover or their parlays lose because of him, because of the Suns, but they're not cash apping him when they win. I think the reason a lot of things on this channel we say either prove to be ridiculously off the target or completely over the target is because they put these things in plain sight. So if I see something, it's either like usually laughably wrong or definitely right. And in this case, I thought it was odd. Kevin Durant comes out and says that. Now, what made it more suspicious was they went ahead and clipped us the night after he did talk about this. So this was 13.5, if you remember, when I did my video, which was not that long before the game started. So to move a whole point, within like an hour, it was probably like 3 hours, but still kind of weird. Usually you'll get some late movement, but kind of odd, especially when you look at the over-under number. Very interesting number. We seem to see that number a lot, don't we? Good old Mason number in there. So kind of interesting. KD's talking about, oh yeah, people crying because they get games blown because of me. And I don't know how the game ended, but it just happens to be one that's a clip, the only clip of the night. So I found that interesting. So I think for the people that do believe 100% that these games are scripted, there's really not much more. Like, we see this almost on a daily basis. It's just a matter of who says it. And Lakers is looking good. I'm pretty sure we'll get that cover. So we did pretty good just playing the metrics. We faded the Sixers because they're really good against the spread. Took the Pacers, not so great against the spread. Missed out on the Raptors and the Suns, like I said. I'm guessing about half people might have caught it, half people might have clipped. Just depends. So anyway, right off the bat, I like the Wizards money line. You're going to get some good value here. Not, amazing value, but it's still going to be like plus 135, something like that. And maybe 140 even, depending on your book's generosity. And they've just looked so bad this year. They've looked like a high school team. So I do think, and I like the Hornets, as you know. I think the Hornets they were one of my play-in teams. I thought the Wizards were going to do a lot better, to be honest. Again, both teams are Wizards even only about 3.5 games back. So, nothing crazy. That's why they made the play-in this way. But with this spread, I do like the Wizards. I think nobody is taking Poole right now. He's a laughingstock. And nobody's taking the Wizards in general. So I do like them. I'm going to take the Magic to cover. I'm not going to take them to win. I do like the prospect of both moving to 10-5. But as we saw tonight, I could have gone with the Hawks. They both would have been 7-6 had that happened. But the Pacers won. So it doesn't always happen. With 10-5, it's interesting, though, because, that is Jokic's number. And, it's Mahomes' number 2. People were bringing that up to me as to why the Chiefs were going to win. Obviously, that did not work out. But I still look at the things. So they could move to 10-5, Jokic's number. They'd both be 10-5. So if you want to take the Magic on the money line, I think that's fine. I like them just to the cover, just because I think it's safer, and I could see a win no cover for sure for Denver. Nets Hawks, I'm still fading the good teams against the spread, meaning I'm taking the Hawks to cover here. The Nets are one of the best teams in the NBA against the spread, so nothing crazy there, just Hawks cover. Bucks Celtics is a very interesting one because I went over this in my rankings video. I think the Celtics are going to be the team that's established as this is the team that can beat Milwaukee. Because I do think the Celtics are going to go, they're my pick right now for the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'm pretty strong behind them. I believe in them more than I believe in my Western pick, where I'm not sure if they are going to pull the trigger with the Lakers, if it's going to be Luka's year. I'm pretty sure this is going to be Boston's year now. Obviously, there's a couple games in the regular season. All that being said, I do like the Bucks to cover this game. I think they'll keep it pretty close. They could establish, have the Celtics hammer the Bucks, and then, down the road the Bucks start going on a run and they look unstoppable. It could be a couple different things, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Bucks. They're one of the worst teams in the NBA against the spread. I'll take them to cover the 5.5 here. Money might be on the Bucks, but I still like the cover. Heat Cavaliers, I like in this one. I do like the Heat. They're very unusual, though most of their wins, it seems like, are against teams with winning records, whereas their losses are against bad teams. When they lose, they seem to get blown out. And these close spreads, and this is dating back to last year, they seem to cover the close spreads a lot. It's like the -6 to -8s that they always blow against crappy teams. So I like the Heat to cover here. I think they'll improve to 10-5. Again, I don't think they're going to have a crazy year, but I think the Cavs are going to have a worse year than the Heat. Again, I went into all this in my rankings video. So a lot of these picks are kind of how I think they're going to do. Of course, every game is not going to be reflective of how they're going to do on the year, but I still like the Heat here for the cover. Raptors, Pacers, so obviously Raptors just lost pretty bad. Pacers just had a crazy one. I do like the Raptors for the cover. And again, it's tough picking with this Pacers because I went into this, it's like the Detroit Lions. Beginning of the year, I just saw a few things, makes me believe the Pacers are going to basically do what the Cavs did last year. Be a top 5, 4 or 5 team in the East the whole way, basically. Not really look back, not have many hiccups. That being said, they're not going to win every game. And even though I do have the Raptors, again, I think they're one of the teams that does not even make the play-in, just a prediction. I think they will cover this game. They've looked pretty bad. Pacers have beaten some good teams. I think more people are going to be on the Pacers here than the Raptors, so I'll take the Raptors, but I'll take them to cover. Again, the points, I'll definitely take the points there. The reason I'm taking the upset for Wizards is just because I think they're going to win the game. I think, again, 2 wins. I guess they could just continue to lose, but I don't think it's going to happen. The Raptors here, I could see this being a close game, like we just saw the Pacers have. Now, my absolute favorite play of the night, and this is going to be our only leg 3 for 4 units, and we've been doing good with our leg 3s as of late. It's going to be, because we just lost our leg 2, so my only leg 2 tonight for 2 units was the Pacers under. Did not go under, obviously. Went over in Harlem Globetrotter fashion, but it's all the way down to 237.5. I told myself, if it's really anything lower than 245, I'm probably taking the under. If it's that 250 again, then I was just going to hold off and wait. So the fact that it's not even 240, 237.5, people have to be slamming the over. Pacers only went under like once all year. So I like the Pacers under here. Raptors, Pacers under. And again, that's going to be a leg 3. That's going to be for 4 units. So that's going to be our only leg 3 of the night. Grizzlies, Rockets here. I like the Rockets for the cover. I think that they're establishing them. They made a point of, there isn't a the D League. I don't know if they actually call it the Developmental League or the G League. I think they call it both. But either way, Jabari Smith Jr. went back there in the offseason, for optics, but basically saying, oh yeah, we can always get better. And I think they're going to use that to say, I thought they were going to do it with the Pistons and Cade Cunningham, but it's looking more like it's going to happen with Jabari Smith and Jalen Green, the young guns, like Oklahoma City when they had Russ, KD, and Harden, not when they were in their prime. Just think like the second year they were really together. They weren't all in their prime yet, but they were playing really good. I kind of get those vibes with the Rockets, so I think they're going to cover this. Not that people won't be on them, but I still think they're going to establish them and have them beat down some of these teams. 76ers, Wolves, interesting line. I do believe, I think Embiid's out of this game, if I'm not mistaken. If not, it's a weird line. I get the Wolves have looked good, but I didn't think this made sense. So I don't know. They're saying Oubre's been out, I believe. So to me, it doesn't make too much sense, if I'm being honest. The spread here, I don't think 5.5. Usually when you have 2 teams that most people would say they're evenly matched, the home team's going to get about 2 to 3 points. So I like Minnesota to cover. Also, Sixers, again, really good against the spread. If you haven't noticed, we've been doing pretty good fading the Sixers, fading the Nets. We took the Grizzlies for a little bit, and we took the Bucks for a little bit. Bucks were 1-9 against the spread. Little fun fact, 1-9, and ESPN put out a post about how they were pathetic and they hadn't won a spread outside of the first game of the season. And I think they've covered every spread since, because they have at least 4 covers now. So I find that pretty interesting. So the metrics do definitely hold true. Kings, Pelicans here. This one is interesting. I do like the Pelicans for the cover. Again, it's more long-term booking. I think the Pelicans are going to be a little better than a play-in team this year. And I think they're going to get it rolling pretty soon. I know Alvarado's been out. I don't know if he's still out. But I think they're definitely, doesn't look like it. I think they're definitely going to push Alvarado for the Pelicans. He's just a feisty guy who gets on people's nerves. So I think we're going to start seeing him look pretty good. And I think the Pelicans might go on a little bit of a run here. So I don't have great prospects for the Kings this year. But I like the Pelicans. And I like the money line here. I like the win straight up. Bulls, Thunder. Thunder doing really good against the spread. They're looking really good in general. Another one. Kind of like the Lions. Although not quite. Because the public sees SGA. And even Chet. And they're buying into the Thunder. They're not buying into the Pacers. They're kind of like an afterthought. The Thunder are being bought into. So I do like the Bulls to cover this spread. And again, I don't have the Bulls making the play-in. I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but I cover every team in detail on my rankings video, and I give my reasons. But I do think that while the Thunder are going to have a better year, again, that doesn't mean they're going to win every game. The Bulls are going to lose every game. Bulls could win this, but I'm going to take them to cover to be safe. I think more people will be on the Thunder's mind giving up 6.5, so I'll take the Bulls with the points. And then we got the Clippers, Spurs. It seems like the Spurs continuously get 8.5. It's like every single game now. If you watch my videos back, like every time we're picking the Spurs, it's 8.5, no matter who they're playing. From the Rockets to the Clippers to the Mavs, maybe they're just that kind of team, I guess. But it is interesting. That all being said, I like the Clippers for the cover. They've been pretty pathetic. I think they got a couple wins, maybe one. Let's see what they got since that ridiculous losing streak. They got 2 in a row, yep. And Spurs, you could say they're due, but I think they're going to win a game when they're not getting these kind of odds. They did beat the Clippers, I think, already once. No, they didn't. Okay, they beat somebody. Maybe it was the Suns. It was I know it was the night before they lost to the Clippers. It was, I want to say it was October 28th. I think it was, or maybe the 27th. But either way, they were getting 8 or 9. They won that game. And then I think they're doing it on purpose because the public probably got paid pretty good, and they haven't covered that spread since. And they got it like every game since. It's been 8.5. So I like the Clippers for the cover. Don't think too many people are going to be on them. And the NBA loves to run with these streaks. So I think they're going to run that streak. So yeah, nothing crazy. I wanted to get these out. They're all going to be leg 1 for 1 unit, except the Pacers Raptors under. That's going to be a leg 3 for 4 units. Again, we had the Pacers going under today, and it did not. That was for 2 units. So we just do it next level, 4 units. We're going to play the under. And I love the fact that it's 237.5 and not in the 240s where the public might be more inclined to take the under even after the performance we saw tonight. So I like the under, especially with where it's at. So that's worth 4 units to me. And the rest we're just going to play leg 1 for 1 unit. Like I said, I'll post these last 3 on my Discord. Again, I'll give hypotheticals. Suns, I think, I'm assuming it's going to be a pretty close spread. I do like the Suns. I think they're going to continue the Warriors looking pretty rough for a bit. Jazz Blazers, I have no clue at all. There's nothing I can go off of. Again, if it's the spread I'm expecting, the Blazers will be getting like 3-4 points, then I probably like the Jazz. If it's 3-4 points, I'll go Jazz. And then Mavs Lakers. Again, I have no clue because I don't know what kind of phony Fugazi injuries are going to come out of the woodwork. I would imagine without any crazy injury, AD playing, all that, I would think that the Lakers would be something like, and I could be wrong, 3 points, something like that. And they're really established in Dallas. So in this case, I like Dallas. Now, again, just keep posted, I guess, because I'm going to, whether it's in the comments or something, whether it's in the video where I'll be doing the Thanksgiving football games, I'll just include these, and I'll definitely put them in my Discord. But those are just my hypotheticals. If we're getting lines I expect, Suns cover, Jazz cover, and Mavericks cover, just because I think they're going to establish the Mavericks. And as far as the Suns, I think they're going to continue the Warriors' losing streak. And as far as the Jazz Blazers, I just think the Jazz are more likely to. I think when you have 2 horrible teams, people are more likely to take the home team. That's kind of how I look at it. But like I said, I'm working with hypothetical spreads. From my hypothetical numbers could be way off. The Warriors might not be a pick'em. I'm thinking Jazz Blazers is around 3 points. In favor of the Blazers, they'll probably be getting the points. And I would think for the Mavericks, Lakers, the Lakers would be getting a couple points. But I could be way off. So those 3 aren't obviously. They're just, if you really wanted my opinion, my blind opinion, there it is. But the rest of them, all 1 unit, leg 1. And again, except the Pacers under. And I'll definitely find a way to update on these final 3. If whatever changes, I'll probably just include in the comments. So if you just look in the comments, you'll see that. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.